Now, learning semicolon, colon, sign of interrogation, sign of exclamation, inverted commas and apostrophe. We'll try and understand how do we use these punctuation marks in sentences. Semicolon. It is generally used to separate clauses and to lay a lot of emphasis. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Now, this sentence is a repetition. Let's understand. A woman without her man is nothing. We have to insert a semicolon in front of this. So, it is separating a clause and putting a lot of emphasis on a woman. Without her, a man is nothing. For a colon is generally used to introduce clauses and quotes. For example, Bacon says, he who lives in solitude is either a beast or an angel. Let's see, where will we put a colon? We put a colon here because this is an introduction of a clause and this is a quote given by Bacon, right? Sign of interrogation. I think everybody has been doing this and learning this, that sign of interrogation, also known as question mark, is generally used in the end of a sentence where a question is asked. For example, where do you live? So in this kind of a question, we put a question mark. Why? Because we are asking a question. So in sign of interrogation is used at the end of a sentence implying to be a question. Sign of exclamation. Now this is also a very simple thing wherein we are expressing certain feelings or emotions. We use the sign of exclamation. For example, okay, now these are two examples of sentences that say, hooray, we won the match. Alas, she lost her grandmother. Now we are going to use exclamation marks in front of sudden feeling or emotion. Now let's understand, hooray is a feeling of excitement after winning a match. So an exclamation mark comes here and at the end of the sentence we impart it with a full stop. Alas, feeling of sadness. Again an exclamation mark and at the end of the sentence we put a full stop. Moving on to inverted commas. Now inverted commas generally imply or come wherein we are using a direct speech. For example, wherein somebody is quoting something. She said, Amit is a hard-working child. Now, let's punctuate this sentence. She said, Amit is a hard-working child. So, because somebody is saying this and this is a direct speech always comes in inverted commas, right? And as we learned in the first go that a comma is used to impart or separate a direct speech. So we've used a comma here and at the end of the sentence it's an enclosure, so we put a full stop. Moving on to apostrophe. Now apostrophe is used wherein there are omitted letters. For example, Now you have come across words like wasn't, can't, right? So we put an apostrophe here. Why do we put an apostrophe? Because there are certain omitted letters from here. Because as it is, this word is was not. Right? So this implies that there are certain omitted letters. Similarly, it is can, not. But we write it can't with an apostrophe. Now, where in possession? Apostrophe is used generally in possession and a plural of a sentence. For example, supposingly we have a sentence wherein Amit's bike met with an accident, Amit's bike was stolen, something of this sort. So we need to understand here that we're going to use apostrophe here in Amit's, because we are talking about possession here. It is Amit's bike. So we use apostrophe in terms of possession. Moving on, plural of a sentence. Now for example, explaining the plural of certain sentence, we use apostrophe. Coming back, semicolon is generally used to separate clauses and to lay a lot of emphasis, like a woman without her man is nothing. So we are laying a lot of emphasis on this word, a woman, and separating the rest of the clause. Colon, it is used to introduce a clause or a quote, like Bacon says, he who lives in solitude is either a beast or an angel. Now we have separated, introduced a clause, a quote, and this is a name of the person who is giving the quote, right? So sign of an interrogation, very simple, used at the end of a sentence wherein we are asking or putting up questions. Sign of exclamation is generally used after sudden feelings. Inverted commas, always used in a direct speech. Apostrophe, either used in omitted letters, possession, or plural of a sentence.